Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Happy New Year. It sounds like we actually have the first official casting news for the new Avatar The Last Airbender Netflix series, so we'll break it down. If you're brand new to my channel, I'll be doing Avatar bonus videos till the new series gets here, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. George Denoto, one of the actors who played a version of the Jet character in the infamous live-action Avatar The Last Airbender movie, says that he's going to be playing a character, probably Jet, in the new upcoming Avatar The Last Airbender Netflix series, in a bid to redeem himself for the awful live-action movie. The reason we found out about this is because he flat out posted it to his Twitter account. He has a ton of followers. I don't know whether or not he was authorized to do this or if he's going to get in trouble for doing it, but I'm glad that he did because Mike and Brian have been very quiet about what's going on right now with the casting process for the new Netflix series. According to Jesse Flowers, the person who played Toph on the original Avatar The Last Airbender series, they're going to start shooting sometime in February. But just a couple weeks ago, everyone was posting, waiting for updates on the new series, and he responded to someone's post saying, "For everyone asking, yes, I will be playing a role in this series and will do my best to rewrite the wrong I made by playing a role in the previous Last Airbender movie. I don't know what he hopes to be forgiven for. Hopefully he wasn't bullied as a child for just being in this movie. Little kids don't have control over that kind of thing." He was a very young child when he did the movie version of this Jet Zuko Iroh scene from the beginning of Book 2 where they're all going to Ba Sing Se and meet up for the first time, telling each other about their backstories. The movie yada its way through the Book 1 story, so there was no room for an actual full-blown Jet character. But when he says he's trying to redeem his performance, it implies he's getting a second crack at the character, meaning a much more accurate version of Jet from the original series. And it makes sense. They've got potentially 4 to 5 seasons, hopefully more than that, and 40 to 50 hours to tell the story, if not more. There'd be way more room for more accurate versions of all the side characters. The Harry Potter movies are a really good example of this too. They got 8 movies, all of them very long, to tell the story of 7 books, and they still had to cut out a ton of the book story. I feel like you either like or you hate the Jet character. There's not a whole lot of in-between the way they used him. He was mostly introduced to give some character development to the Sokka character and to be a romantic rival for Aang really early in the story before Zuko showed up and they did their whole Zutara storyline. So when people typically think of Aang's romantic rivals for Katara's affections, they typically think of Zuko in Zutara stuff. But here's my top 10 WTF Jet moments from the original series, starting with number 10. Sokka's instincts are terrible. The whole episode is just this big arc for Sokka to start taking charge and being more of a leader in the group because he thinks of himself as the oldest character, even though Aang has both of them beat by almost 100 years. Right off the bat, Sokka's instincts are terrible. They use it for a lot of comedy with Aang and Katara teasing him. They also sort of set up the Jet storyline too, with Katara teasing him that he's never kissed a girl. Sokka was 15 at the start of Avatar The Last Airbender, Katara was 14, and Aang was technically 112 years old. But because he was frozen in the ice when he was 12, developmentally, when he comes out, he acts like he's 12 for most of Book 1. Although he does the most growing up of any character on the series, the youngest character winds up being the most mature by the finale. Number 9, Jet swoops in, saves them with his hook swords, making him Katara's first official crush, right after she spent the entire first part of the episode teasing Sokka about this. "I'm sure Sokka totally kissed a girl, she just lives in another nation, please don't try and contact her, she's super busy and won't be able to answer you." But number 8, this is actually kind of funny. Jet is basically Rufio from the Hook movie, living with his own group of lost boys in their own super cool tree fort that terrorized their own version of Captain Hook in the form of the Fire Nation people.
How about a mohawk? How about not one mohawk? How about 3 mohawks? You're like...
Rufio, as you all know, was played by a very young Dante Bosco during the 90s, who would later go on to become Prince Zuko for Avatar The Last Airbender when that series began. He also came back during Legend of Korra as Zuko's grandson, General Iroh, named after Uncle Iroh, and that he will be returning for the new live-action Avatar The Last Airbender Netflix series, but we don't know who he's going to be playing in the new series. Not Zuko, because he's obviously much older now, but probably some important Fire Nation character. I know a lot of you are really hoping that he plays Cabbage Man or Foaming Mouth Guy or something funny. We'll see. If they don't announce it before the series, he'll probably just show up and it'll be some huge surprise. But the whole thing with the Jet character is that he's meant to be the stabbier, darker version of Sokka. So Sokka has this big arc in the episode where he goes from being really immature to growing up a lot by the end, saving the Fire Nation people. And within the story of Hook, Rufio is meant to be the stabbier version of Peter Pan. Number 7, Jet winds up being this crazed tyrant who almost kills an innocent man from the Fire Nation until Sokka stops him. Later, he even concocts the lie about the old man having the dagger of poison being sent to kill him. The whole thing with him and the tribe of little kids that are trying to be freedom fighters seems pretty genuine. It's just that Jet has gone so overboard with his desire for revenge. It's just that they wrote the Jet character so hardcore so that Sokka would realize a lot of his inner rage and desire for revenge against Fire Nation people was misplaced. Oh, just because a Fire Nation soldier was responsible for the death of my mother doesn't mean that all the Fire Nation people deserve to die. Number 6, Jet reveals he's going to blow up the dam without caring that he'll cause the deaths of countless innocent Fire Nation people, women and children. The same old man that Sokka just saved, and Aang and Katara don't want to hear anything bad about Jet, because Aang is having so much fun in the tree fort and Katara is still pretty smitten with Jet. So number 5, he tries to make Katara and Aang complicit in killing all the Fire Nation town by lying to them in order to get them to help. He even tries to kill Aang by swiping his glider just as he's taking off the cliff, and then attacks both of them. Mike and Brian said there were always a lot of really weird rules that Nickelodeon had about how hardcore they could get with some of these scenes, but even though Aang is an airbender, and technically he wasn't in any real danger in this moment, because he is the Avatar, his Avatar state would have automatically kicked in to save him if he fell off the cliff. Jet did not know that when he swiped the glider, he was just trying to stop him from saving the dam at any cost. So there are a couple of genuine moments where he starts fighting them and goes after them with his swords, even going after Katara. But number 4, this is actually probably bigger WTF, he stole Katara's first kiss in a deleted scene from Book 1, Episode 10. They never actually aired this during broadcast, and it's not on the Blu-ray extras, but later during the official Avatar Extras bonus features, they did confirm that Jet really was Katara's first official kiss from a boy. And the group did spend the rest of the series teasing her about Jet being her boyfriend through Book 2 when he came back into the story. Katara didn't really start thinking of Aang romantically in a serious way till the end of Book 3. Their first kiss was in the finale right after he defeated Fire Lord Sozin, even though he had been crushing on her since Book 1. Number 3, Zuko and Iroh versus Jet. So during Book 2, Jet came back to the story trying to move to Ba Sing Se with the freedom fighters in the Earth Nation for a chance for a better life, and ran into Zuko and Iroh by coincidence. He tried and failed to get Zuko to join his freedom fighters, and then turned on them when he saw Iroh firebending his tea. Tea, one of Iroh's 2 main weaknesses, tea and pretty girls. He then spent the next couple of episodes trying to out them to the authorities, flat out fighting them, without ever realizing how important they were. He just knew that they were firebenders when he started going after them. He didn't know that they were 2 princes of the Fire Nation. So number 2, of course, Jet gets captured by the Dai Li and taken under Lake Lao Gai for quote-unquote re-education. Calm down, you're safe now, there is no war in Ba Sing Se. That was also the episode with the Ju Di reveal. I think when you consider all of his storyline through Avatar, people like this version of Jet in these episodes better than the Book 1 version of Jet, just because Book 1 Episode 10 is not one of the best episodes of the series. In the number 1 WTF, of course, Jet dies, R.I.P. Jet. You'll mostly be known as Katara's first crush and Aang's romantic rival. He did kind of redeem himself at the end by trying to help them find Appa, who by that time had made it to Ba Sing Se and was being held under the lake, but it actually wound up being Zuko that saved Appa. Mike and Brian also explained big WTF from behind the scenes. Nickelodeon as a network was so hardcore about them never showing that Jet had been killed by the Dai Li, and they never let them reference it in an overt, discreet way in later episodes. There were some offhanded remarks and implications during the Amber Island Players episode when they were doing that part of their story during the play. I feel like if you watched the episode, even if you were a little kid when you saw it, you probably thought that Jet died during this moment. But Nickelodeon is just really weird about the way they show stuff like that. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about them including Jet in the new live-action Avatar The Last Airbender Netflix series? They're supposed to start filming around February, like I said, next month, so we'll probably start hearing more official casting news soon. As soon as they start releasing more official information, I'll be sure to include it in my future Avatar The Last Airbender videos. But let me know in the comments what you want my next Avatar video to be about. You may have heard they also recently revealed what the story was going to be for Avatar The Last Airbender Book 4 if the series hadn't have stopped after Book 3 before the live-action movie ramped up. Click here to learn about that, it's very Azula heavy, and click here for all my other Avatar The Last Airbender Netflix teaser and trailer videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody stay awesome, Happy New Year!